wake that ass up.
In the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the God. We are the Breakfast Club. We got a special guest in the building.
Yes, indeed.
We have Jerrod Carmichael.
Our
Welcome.
guy.
I be doing your voice in the showers. Morning, everybody. It's DJ. I be
Jerrod thinks about you when he's naked.
Yeah. You know what? Let's lean into all the gay shit. Sometimes when I'm naked, I think about DJ
NV's voice.
Yes.
Happy to see you, Jerrod.
Happy to see you, bro. So
I'm always happy when people come right after Donkey of the Day.
The Charlamagne game.
Oh my God.
Then we
Listen,
can talk
bro.
about
Let
it.
me tell you something. I was responding to you like Monique. Like I was in my house just pacing around, just being like, Leonard, what would your mother say about giving me? No, let's talk about that. So there's a couple things I want to make clear about that.
Well, let's start off for people that don't know.
Damn,
Charlamagne, he came in hot. He came in hot.
This is on YouTube. People will see this shit.
That's
What are you
what
talking
I'm
about?
saying.
People will see this. It'll be the video right up next to me in the fur coat with the earrings, and it'll be like,
Yes.
Donkey of the Day, whatever.
We just want to know how you doing first.
We'll get to that later. Listen, no. We got some shit to settle first.
Right, let's
okay.
go.
So,
Charlamagne gave you Donkey today.
Gave me Donkey of the
For
Day.
what, Charlamagne?
Gave me Donkey. No, I'm gonna get into it.
Okay.
So first of all, because the thing I want to clear up, and is very, very important, if people got a short attention span, I want to make sure that they hear this part first, because you reported on you played a clip of my stand up, but it started at the punchline, and it like completely erased the setup of it, and I really don't like that. It made it seem like I was talking like I'm into some type of race, sexual, slavery role play with my boyfriend, which is untrue. It's so false. And I expect that type of thing from TMZ because they have no humanity. They don't care about the people that get hurt when they report these sort of things, but you're a friend. So I really didn't like that. I know you repeated it in the Neil interview. I didn't like that. That was very, very unfair. It was a joke.
I saw that clip though.
But I need you to watch the show.
And
anybody who
I've
watches
seen
the
it-
show,
I've seen
it's
it
not
since
what I
then.
said.
Yeah, I've seen it
It's
since
so false. It's so untrue. And I don't like that because it's like, no, well, we'll get into that later.
It's a joke about reading.
It has nothing to do with my boyfriend. It has nothing, like the sex that we have. It has nothing to do with sex. It's something that like people have been reporting on, and I really, really don't like it. It's about my boyfriend reading so much. He makes me feel insecure about my level of reading. And look, I get it. It's something that people have been running with because I have a white boyfriend, so like people like try and create some type of crazy story out of that. Like, and it's a small group of people, really. Like I read all the tweets, and it's like some gay black men and some Ku Klux Klan members who don't like that I have a white boyfriend.
And
They
Dr.
agree
Umar.
on that, so congratulations. Like the Klan and Dr. Umar, and some people find some common ground on that. But he's a human being. He deserves respect. I deserve respect. I don't appreciate things being misreported or like said about him in that way. It's completely false. So I don't like that. I just want to make that clear. That's not something I know you were just reading the news, but like you're a friend, and I want you to like actually have nuance with these stories. Like, look, I'm a human being, and like people can get hurt. There are actually real lives at stake with the things that you say. And look, come after me. That's fine. But don't come after like my boyfriend who has.
I don't think we came at your boyfriend though. We knew it was about you.
I'm saying when that's in the headline and that's reported, like, and then misreported, like, oh, he's into race slave play with his white boyfriend. I don't like that headline because it's false. It's not true at all. Now, on to Dave Chappelle.
No, hold on, stick to the joke though. In context, the joke's still not a good joke.
Well, that's on you. Listen, I've been a professional comedian for a while. I got some.
Because you're still saying you're a slave.
No,
he's a slave
that
master.
joke,
The slave master is teaching the slave to read.
Listen, I'm talking about my own personal insecurity. I'm an educated person. I'm usually the smartest person in the room. He reads so much, it makes me feel like, oh, do I even know how to read? That joke works if I had a black boyfriend. My boyfriend were black. That joke actually works better if I had a black boyfriend.
And you the slave and the white person is the slave master.
Listen, if you are...
And you're from North Carolina, where know the first anti-literacy laws were created in North and South Carolina.
Sure. But that's not my role as a comedian to start getting into like literacy laws and stuff like that. You've completely lost that. I evoke provocative imagery sometimes in my jokes. Some people are very sensitive to that. That's your right. You don't have to laugh at that. You could like hear the word slavery and completely shut off. That's completely fine. But don't misconstrue what I said and don't like make it into something that it's not, because that's where I start to get offended.
Yeah, I don't think we made it in
Well, what was
No,
misconstrued?
that the statement, like, oh, you said it like multiple times on the show, like, oh, he's into slave role play with his white boyfriend. That's untrue.
I don't know if I said it like that. I think
You said it, Charlamagne. Roll the clip.
That is
Y'all
your
play
joke,
clip.
though.
That is not the joke. The joke's about me reading. The joke's about my insecurity about like not being as well read. When I be in bed next to him and he's on his
I get what you're saying. The joke is about. Okay, I get it.
When I'm in bed next to him and he's like on his third novel of the month, I'll be watching Breakfast Club interviews and I feel like, oh, I should read more. That's what the joke is. The joke, it has nothing to do with sex, has nothing to do with the type of sex that we have, and that's just absolutely false.
But still not a good joke when you black and
Hey,
he's
listen, that's on you. That's on you. You do stand up and you figure it out. For me, the crowds laugh, whatever. I'll say this about
if the crowd is majority white, are they laughing with you or at you?
You know, it's funny. I'm actually shocked. There's actually a pretty decent amount of black people coming out to see me. I really appreciate y'all for coming out. I want y'all to keep coming out too. I like the seeing it. Really, especially black women are like in the crowd. They've been like talking to me. They seem invested in my life, and it makes me feel really, really special. So I really like that and I appreciate that. Now I want to move on to the Dave Chappelle portion of it because I've heard you comment on that too. I deeply regret ever saying anything about Dave Chappelle to the press. I want to say that I'm sorry for that because, one, I'm a huge Dave Chappelle fan. I love Dave. Like, I think he's brilliant. I think he's a bright light in a dying industry. I think he's more important now than ever before because, like, comedians are now just posting clips of them doing crowd work online and calling it art, and it's not art. Dave Chappelle is an artist. He's one of the few artists that we have, and I care deeply about the work that he makes. With that said, the criticism that I had nothing to do with the morality of the joke, had nothing to do with the ethics of the joke. That's something that's also been misreported. The criticism I had was that of a fan, someone who respects him so much that I want him to focus his genius on a wide range of topics. I think that like
He
it
does,
started, but it started being really, really focused on one thing.
I disagree.
Well, I'll say this. Look,
That's like us saying that about the slave joke.
I'll say this. I'm also a big fan of Jay-Z. If Jay-Z made 3 albums about trans people, I'd be like, hey, what's going on with Jay?
But Jay-Z made more than 3 albums about selling drugs. You just don't put him in that. You don't pigeonhole him with that.
No, Jay-Z. I mean, listen, I would love to get to a Jay-Z argument. Jay-Z was very personal, very emotional. He always evolved. 444 was incredible because it showed growth and evolution and something you've never seen before in rap. And that's a thing with comedy too. Comedy doesn't grow. Comedy doesn't evolve. It's kind of stunted like rap, and like we just start getting like real braggadocious, like antagonistic with the crowd. And it can evolve. Like, and we need smart people like Dave, like Chris Rock, like myself, to actually evolve the art form because it is dying. It's so important for people to go up and do deep personal stories or have a deep perspective about things going on in the world because it's not happening. You see it online. Yeah, I know.
That's always
But listen,
Dave.
all I'm saying is, and because I've talked about Dave a lot, I don't want to talk about Dave anymore. I honestly, I called him an egomaniac. I'm an egomaniac. I'm here to talk about me. I have a show that I want to talk about.
Have you spoken to him
I've talked
personally?
about him enough.
Have y'all spoken to him on the phone?
Yeah, I know
you spoke
Dave.
to
And you
him
know
after
what? And I'll tell you, honestly, from now on, any thoughts I have for Dave will be directed in a phone call to Dave. I'll never do it again. I do apologize for that. I'm man enough to say that that is wrong. I don't need it. I don't want the attention. It's going on way too long. Yeah. Don't want it at all. I'm here to talk about me.
Did it change after you got, I guess, taken out of context after the slave joke? Because it literally was a matter of 12 hours.
No, it never changed. It had nothing to do with that. Like I think that, again, with the press, same thing, TMZ. It's funny because that's the thing that happens. Like, you know, I get asked about Dave or Cosby or someone like that. Like, it's almost like the press and, like, you know, they want to perpetuate a beef. Well, it's just like, hey, like, what's going on with you and this other black man? Like, John Mulaney don't get asked about Jerry Seinfeld the way I get asked about other black comedians. Like, that's just, like, I don't like that either. These are, like, there are few artists in this art form. There are so few artists, people actually doing art, people that are not doing podcasts, not doing like crowd work videos online, people that are actually doing the art. He's one of the few. I have a deep respect for him, and that's all I'll say. And let's hope TMZ reports everything I just said, because like I'm saying that with love.
Chappelle.
Yeah,
I apologize to myself for making this whole thing get out of proportion. Like I should have never said anything. Again, I really want to talk about me. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah.
Before
I
we
want to
move on,
talk about myself.
Now, Charlamagne, he said he was upset because he considered you guys friends and that you went off the rail without having a conversation.
Did you
with
watch the show? I texted you last night. Did you watch the show? You've been watching it? Did you watch the next episode?
No, I watched the first 4. The first 3.
Oh, man, you're going to love the next episode.
him. So respond to what he said because, he considered you guys friends. And
That is my friend. I
He felt
said,
like you
Jordan
were-
Donkey today. I
But he
said, I
felt,
love
but he
Jordan.
felt like you went off the
Envy-
rail.
now, Envy,
no,
what-
because I want you to apologize. But if you feel away, I think that Charlamagne, you should apologize to him as well.
I don't feel like I want to apologize.
Whoa.
Okay.
That's not a diss. But it's just,
Whoa.
When, don't you
All
like
right, well, I'm
No,
taking my
Jerrod,
fucking
no,
candle back.
No, it's not just about him.
You're a
I'm joking.
sincere person.
I'm joking.
Would
Yeah,
you
yeah,
want me
yeah.
to give you one of these half-ass bullshit industry? But I don't feel like I need to apologize.
I think I made myself clear. I have no need for an apology.
If it
I have
hits
nothing
me
but love
one
for
day
you.
and I'm like, you know what, that was wrong. But in the moment, I don't feel that
All
way.
right. Well, I'll wait for that when I'm in the shower thinking about DJ and
I know.
Okay.
I know that's right.
Anyway,
Yes.
I want you to watch this next episode because this next week I'm going to road trip with my dad to Dillon, South Carolina, where he's from.
That's when you was asking about the otters?
Your Monk's Corner. Yeah.
Oh, in the truck.
Yeah, no, the episode is really good because I have a conversation with him and I say things that I was afraid to say. And
Well, this is the reality show on HBO. For people
Oh,
like
yeah,
this.
yeah,
So
let's
it's a
rewind.
reality show.
Let's
Yeah,
rewind.
He
Yeah,
just
yeah.
came in with the chopper, just shooting at everybody. He has a
No,
reality
show.
it's with
Things
love.
up.
I wanted
On
to
HBO
be
Max.
said in the comment section that I came with love. I came with candles
didn't
and
get
flowers and love.
flowers.
That's right.
Yeah. Like,
We couldn't even get
Jess,
to that.
come on. Like, Jess, I
Yes.
need you out here.
I
know.
do have one more question about that though. Do you think a comedian should ever call another comedian offensive or imply that another comedian is being offensive? Because you could easily offend.
I'll say comedians can do whatever they want. I don't want to be a comedian who speaks about other comedians. I make art that I like. I make things that I want the world to see. I focus all of my energy and attention on myself and my art and my work. And that's what I want to be known for. And I don't care. I'm not on Twitter talking about other comedians. I'm not on podcasts. You know me. I don't talk about anything but myself. Like that's why I'm upset that the whole thing got blown out of proportion because I don't talk about anything other than myself. I'm so focused on my own work. I think it's important. I think people should see it, and that's why I'm here.
Okay.
Now, you also talk about black women being super supportive when you first came out, but also being mad at you at the same time.
Oh, because I got a white boyfriend? Yeah, it's funny. They met my boyfriend. They love him. Like my boyfriend is actually, he's so real. That's part of the reason like any lie about him makes me upset because he's so real. My homegirl Avery loves Mike. Mike doesn't engage in small talk. That's a thing that I actually am trying to learn because like I
That's
can
the
be
name of
out
my
here-
next book. Why Small Talk Sucks.
Hey, there we go. You got to meet my boyfriend. Like he doesn't do it at all. If you talk to him about the weather, he'll just be quiet. And I'm trying to learn that. Like I'd be out in the world just lying to people, just like, oh no, good shirt. Just like I'd have a lot of good shirt conversations. It's all. I got to stop doing that. I don't like that.
How does he feel when you because you talk about your life on the reality show? How does he feel when you talk about your sexcapades or even your conversation with Tyler the Creator? How does it make him feel funny? Do y'all have conversations before?
Yeah, he knows all of it. I mean, it's funny because our relationship began. I started shooting the reality show, and then our relationship began. So he came in at a time when I'm dealing with a lot of things, and the show is just about me, like me trying to explore all these deep things about myself and being in therapy, trying to work through problems, like trying to like. I'm exposing. It's the most vulnerable show of all time.
Yes.
You've never seen a show more vulnerable than this.
Did he make you more comfortable with that?
He makes me more comfortable in life.
Right.
Like I think I'm a better person because of my boyfriend. I feel so much calmer now. Like I'm a person that had a lot of anxiety, and you could see it even in the first episode. You could see like it's me trying to get all my anxiety out. I think that's why the audience feels that way. They feel a little awkward because that's how I felt. I think it transmutes into the art form. I was somebody that was just like constantly scared, constantly nervous, afraid of how I would be perceived, afraid of like coming in masculine environments as a gay man, like just terrified all the time, afraid of the kind of sex I was having. I was thinking about that because people have been talking about like I put like a foot in my mouth in the first episode.
Man's toes,
and I also want to set the record straight. He was Guatemalan. People say his white toes. He was Guatemalan. Maybe that doesn't matter to some people, but like, it's like a toe's a toe. I've had some black feet in my mouth too. I was afraid of the type of sex I was having. I thought it was dirty and so wrong. And like I used to get like HIV tests once a week because I thought it was like I was having like dirty, forbidden, like God forbidden sex, and I was like I viewed myself negatively.
But as a gay man, isn't that normal?
No, that level of shame.
I'm talking about like getting the HIV test and things of that.
Yeah,
nature.
but
Not
yeah, listen,
weekly,
and
Jesus
I'll
Christ.
say this, but that's also actually a actual fact. More straight people get HIV now than gay men, like because straight people don't check on themselves as much as gay men.
Yeah, if
gay
you're
men
active,
are up
you should
on
be
sexual
testing
health because you have to be, and that's a thing. That was actually psychological. That was me thinking that God was punishing me because something I was doing was so wrong. And that is a horrible thing to live with. And people, gay, straight, whatever, have a lot of sexual shame. They're afraid of things. So I was doing things like on camera to liberate myself. Like it was important for me to like eradicate that shame. Like, I put a foot in my mouth for y'all.
A lot of people don't think you're really gay though, and they think that you just put the foot in your mouth to kind of prove that you're gay. And they was like, if you was really gay, you'd have sucked the dick on camera.
I mean, OnlyFans coming soon, I guess. I don't know.
Oh my
What y'all want? Like, there's a lot of silly things. There are people who get their news from Twitter. They're crazy.
Where did you meet your boyfriend from? Where did y'all meet? How did y'all
We
meet?
met through a mutual friend. We met years ago in LA, and then and we started dating. It's been a year and a half now.
It was a scene where you was. I'm sorry. Go ahead, John.
The thing with Tyler when you speak
Yeah,
about
yeah.
was
Hey,
that
Jess, how
real?
you doing?
I'm good. How you been?
I'm good.
Good.
Hey, can I say I'm so proud of you? And I don't mean that in a condescending way because people sometimes use pride, like I'm proud of you, like I'm above you. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
I love you very, very much.
Thank
You
Don't try to
Me
disarm
too.
her. She's
I'm not
not
trying
with
to-
jokes.
I'm not trying to.
First of all,
Jess, can you tell? Can you
You
tell?
come to see me and listen. I
know,
remember
Yeah, I showed up. I like.
showed up by
No.
himself with his camera in the green room like years and years ago when I first started doing comedy in South
when
Carolina.
London when London kicked him out because she didn't know who he was.
London didn't know who he was, and he was
Hey,
just
that's
so
okay.
cool. He was just like, okay, I'll leave. I'm like, no, wait. This is Jerrod Carmichael. She was like, oh, okay, well, she said who he was.
Yeah,
My
no,
gosh,
no,
but-
and I've been a fan of yours, like
Yes.
for a very long time.
You
We
have.
worked on time. I gave Jess a TV.
You sure did.
You like-
Series lead.
I saw that she was a star. Like
she
like
did.
look at me trying to take credit for how.
And
like,
but it's
yeah.
okay.
Oh, no, that's dope. So you was the one who got her on row.
What are you talking about? I saw her on my sister's Instagram. It was like she's a star.
Dope.
She's incredible. She's a star. I was like,
She is.
like
Don't
her.
play with me.
Like I was in Dana Walden office in Fox, like demanding they put you on the air because you, and rightfully so.
you.
Like
No, Rel
no,
takes
I
the
don't
credit.
need it.
That's why I
I
said
don't,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, give Rel credit too. Whatever. I'm like Little Richard. I get overlooked for all types of shit. Anyway.
Yeah.
No, you're incredible, and I'm
Thank
really,
you.
really happy for you.
I appreciate you, Jerrod.
No,
No,
I mean,
seriously.
I love you.
I'm fucking with that. Harry told us. I was like, we need to get him up here so we can talk about him.
Yeah,
in
I
space.
wanted to come to the new space and come when you were here.
Yes. So I wanted to ask you about you and Tyler because y'all are actually really friends.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Was that like for fun or did you really, really have romantic feelings for Tyler?
Yeah, I did.
You
I was in
did?
turmoil over that for a year, and that's a hard thing to
Okay.
deal with. Of course, it's like I see people online talk about as awkward as cringe. Yeah. Having feelings for your best friend is very awkward, very, very cringe. I'm thankful that he did it because I've never seen a conversation like that played out on television or in any space, and I thought it was really, really important. I've never seen like a black man express feelings for another black man like that ever before. And I'm trying to make art that I wish I'd seen as a kid.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make things and put things out there that I needed. And so it was really important. I thought it was a really important conversation. I'm so thankful to Tyler for doing it because
Did his
it's a
response
hard
hurt you? Because when he said he called you a stupid bitch and y'all laughed, like he laughed about it, did that really hurt your feelings? Or it's just like, oh, because I listen.
Getting called
I'm
a
thinking y'all
stupid bitch?
Yeah, but that's your
Jess, he
best
called
friend.
me
Me
a
and my best friend.
stupid bitch.
I know, but I call my best friend a stupid bitch all the time.
Yeah, no, I know.
So
I was
I'm
in my
thinking
feelings,
that
so I
it
was
was
really hurt.
it was just like, okay, they're best friends, they cool, but it really did hurt. Did
Yeah.
you see what he said at Coachella?
Yeah, I was watching it. I stayed up late for that too. I made a sandwich. I was up at 3 a.m. Like, so I thought it was funny.
How did your
It
boyfriend
just-
feel about that? Like you staying up late to watch Tyler?
I was on FaceTime with him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, it's all like he's emotionally evolved. I'm the one that's trying to catch up.
Does your boyfriend get jealous at all?
Yeah, there's jealousy, for sure. Jealousy. I'm jealous of him. He goes to the gym, like you be getting hit on and stuff. Like it's like, there's a lot of jealousy. I'm learning to deal with that. Like I'm trying to
How does he deal with it?
Ooh, I mean, that's a question for him. I
His
think,
jealousy.
yeah, we talk
too.
about it.
Yeah,
That's the
'cause you're
thing.
more public.
Yeah, I'm public, but that's something that we talk about. And that's kind of the point of the show. Like all these things, these feelings that you don't talk about, things that you could just harbor. You could go to sleep at night never saying. Like we talk about these things. It's so important.
What do you think about Tyler's performance? I know Jess asked you that, but what do
Tyler is an aesthetic genius. Sonically, he has chords that, I mean, I think that's part of the reason we became friends, because there's a certain sound that I think we both relate to. He's great. He's
But
one
the
of the
part where
few.
he said, "You trying to?" I bet y'all saw my best friend try to fuck me on camera.
Yeah, I thought it was funny. I was gonna say, that was funny. No, I love the performance. The performance itself was great. Like, and I don't want to be a distraction from his work. It's great. I'm thankful that he had the conversation, and I think he's one of the few, like him, Beyonce, like one of the few live performers that deserve all the praise that they get. He's so incredible.
What's your relationship now? Y'all cool after the conversation? Do y'all
Yeah,
still
we
speak? Y'all
cool.
still
I mean, he's
joke?
making jokes about it. We cool. Yeah.
He seems like a troller. Like
Yeah,
he'll
he
troll
cool.
you
I
all
mean, we
day.
moved
Yes.
on. Like I have, I've definitely moved on. It was a very, very tough moment in my life, and I have nothing but gratitude for him for doing that on camera is wild, right? But it was hard off camera. That was a difficult thing to deal with off camera. Like
It was a whole year.
Because that's your best
yeah,
friend.
yeah.
That's-
I was on Music Soul Child have crazy mode for a year.
Oh, man.
But why not
Yeah.
reach out to him during that year? Like, why
He
just?
called me a stupid bitch. Charlamagne, did you watch the show?
He was in his
Yeah,
feelings
but why-
about it. He
I'm
was
saying-
like, hold up.
I mean,
Yeah. Thank you, Jess.
But if that's
Come
your
on, talk
friend,
to him.
somebody you love and care for, what I was thinking was like, well, why would he let a whole year go by? Why would either one of them let a whole year go
Well,
by?
it's very so that's the thing. It's very easy for things to like just fall back into the elephant in the room. Like, oh, okay, we're not going to talk about it. We just go to breakfast. Like, I have that same relationship with my parents where it's like, oh, there are things that we don't really want to talk about, so we don't, and we engage in small talk.
Okay.
We talk about everything else. And that's what the show was. The show was an excuse to have a difficult conversation that I'd otherwise be afraid to have.
How is your
Hold on,
family?
one more thing. When you were sitting there eating dinner with Tyler,
Yeah.
it felt like, and I know in TV time, I don't know how long it was, but it felt like there was just a long moment where y'all said nothing.
Yeah.
Y'all just ate. He farts,
Yeah.
leaves, says, "I'll call you next week." How long was that whole scene?
I mean, it was long. It was longer. It was longer than what you saw. Like,
But there was
I
no
mean,
conversation.
Yeah, I mean that's how real life plays out sometimes, you know. And I like the show because the show lives in silences. It lives in like moments. Like there's a critic, Elvis Mitchell, that like called me and was like, "I really love the silence of the show. I really love that it kind of lives and it. There are these moments where the show takes its time."
Yeah.
I was asking about your family. You know, how was it with your family seeing everything up close and personal? Because at one time you said it was difficult when you first
He
came
hasn't
out to
watched the
talk
show.
to your family. No, I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen the DJ MB. I'm having sex dreams about you, and you didn't. I'm joking. I just want to make you uncomfortable. I'm trying to make you uncomfortable. I know
when
you're
seen
super
you was with
straight.
your family, but now it's I don't care. He firsts me all day long.
Yeah.
No, I do not.
Yes, you do.
But I know you're super straight.
You're super straight.
Nah, I'm
like,
good.
like,
He
you got the
first me all
chain
day.
on, like just like the
You got a
chains
chain
of the
on,
head.
too.
Anybody that says
Yeah,
they're
I
super
got it.
straight is a little crooked,
yeah, a
probably.
little
Oh, okay. I didn't mean to start. I didn't mean to reignite. I'm joking. I don't want to
You gotta tell me I'm
reignite.
super straight.
Charlamagne grabs
what?
my body. Like anyway.
Whoa,
That's not true.
You never?
y'all got
what?
me like Cameron now, like
Yeah,
pause.
like, whatever.
You never
Okay.
grabbed your
Yeah.
bottom.
So I was asking. So how was that? Your family seeing everything?
My dad's super nervous. His episode's coming up this week. You know, like he be calling me, like pretending he just checking on me.
Yeah.
You know, but he really wants to know about it. It's a wild thing. Like, just imagine me and from where I'm from. You know, your son's on HBO every week, dealing with personal family things. That's insane. That's insane. So I respect my family for dealing with these things on camera. They know that that's my way, and yeah, he's a little nervous. My mom is an evangelist, so she feels as long as she gets the word of God out there, like
She's all good.
she's all good. Yeah. My mom's one of the few people in the world who is exactly who she says she is. And that's caused some tension in our life, but I also totally respect her.
Yeah.
How did your mom, or how do you think black women in general will feel about you referring to your mother as a bitch?
Oh
That
man,
was
that's
crazy.
been the family
insane.
been
Oh,
the
boy.
family been having. They got a group chat without me
They should.
talking about
That
that.
was wild, Jerrod.
You know, it's funny that I actually didn't consider that, like, when I said it, and maybe that's me being inconsiderate, and maybe there is some like latent hurt that is coming out when I say that. I actually wasn't saying it. I love my mother. I have a deep respect for my mother, and I only said it. I say it kind of casually, kind of gay, like just on stage. Is in a public
like it's not
thing.
your mom.
I say it just nonchalantly. I call people bitches and niggas all the time. Like that's like the
Not
very
your mother.
listen.
You can call your dad a nigga. You can even call your dad a bitch, but your mom.
But they're gonna get mad at Tyler for a year because he said stupid bitch.
Exactly.
Well, it wasn't. It was the dismissal of the emotion. It wasn't just that. It was that was all he said.
Gotcha.
But no, with my mom, no, that's something that we talked about. I would rather focus on the emotion behind it. It's like it's easy to get hung up on it. I actually get really, really angry with my family when they start talking about like, my dad calls. He's like, I don't like that you call your mom a bitch. I'm like, that's the worst thing we've done to my mother. Like I think as a family we've done worse, and I think that it's easy. Sometimes that surface level conversation is all people have access to. It's the thing that people want to talk about because it's easy. But like, just don't say that word. It's like, hey, what's behind that word? Why do you think I'm saying it? Do you see the hurt in my eyes? Do you hear it in my voice? Like I'm hurt and I'm revealing a lot in this show, and the family can't talk about that sometimes, so they just focus on the very easy thing.
So more so, why did you call her a bitch?
Or why am I hurt?
Yeah.
Why? What's the cause of the hurt? Like,
Yeah.
like I feel rejected by my creator. That's a difficult thing to live with. Like, I'm not the only person that's living with like some issues with their parents, with their mom, or you don't see eye to eye and it makes you feel bad about yourself. That's how I feel. And that's a really, really hard thing to live with. And I'm trying to make art and trying to make sense of all of it, but it's really tough.
What would you say to people who would say your mom is homophobic? But when I look at it, I say, no, she's very religious. So I think she's looking at it through the lens of religion.
Yeah. And I think that, I think at some point you have to think about how you got to the place that you are. I had a really good conversation with my mom about even her finding religion and needing religion, about the hurt, the disappointment in her life from her dad and from other people in her life that led her to needing God as much as she does and depending on God as much as she does. And we were having a really, really good conversation. Then my dad woke up and interrupted. It was just like, yeah. But like you have to explore your life. You got to explore the reasons why, because you can hurt people. Like I know, like people call it faith, whatever, but they're human beings, and like your opinion, my mother's opinion of me matters so much.
Absolutely. Yeah. I also wondered when it was a scene where it looked like you was literally sitting in the closet. I'm not trying to be funny.
Probably was.
And you were saying how you felt spiritually unclean.
Yeah.
You said you felt like a black buck in a cup.
Yeah.
I wondered what your mother thought about that, especially the spiritually unclean part.
Yeah. My mom said, she said a funny thing because she saw the hookups and like how much I talk about sex in the show. She was like, the one thing she did say about the show, she was like, I just want you to know that your body is a temple, Jerrod. And I got mad. I got offended by that because I was like, I see the groceries you buy. You be eating beanie weenies. You know what beanie weenies are? Little hot dogs. Little hot dogs cut up in pork and beans. I was like, you invite beanie weenies into your temple. Like, don't criticize my temple.
Was that a penis reference or that was actual food?
No. There's actual food. There's actual. That's maybe I'm from the South. That's like a
snack.
But my mom. Yeah, man. We don't even have time. That's like a whole special.
No, go ahead. So why? I guess my thing too is why keep living like that if you felt like you said you felt like a black buck in a cuck. That's some strong language.
Well, a lot of the show is me trying to figure out, like, working through those things, like working through the shame that I have, working through a lot of the problems that I have in my life. Yeah, it's a feeling. I express my feelings, and I'm expressing them on camera for the world to dissect and for people to kind of therapize. But it was a feeling I was having in that moment, and I was conflicted about it.
But isn't that a racial component? If you're saying you feel like a black buck, then there's a part of you that has to be like, why do I keep hooking up with all these white men?
Yeah, but I mean, that I've been reading a lot, and so that was just like, yeah, there's all types of components. There's a sex addiction component to it. Just like why do I need sex to heal? Why do I turn to that to like feel better about myself? Like a lot of it's unhealthy. Like I definitely exhibit a lot of unhealthy behavior in the show.
But I think it also he's not the only one who's feeling that way, obviously. So you saying like people people can like get some type of therapy from your show, because you're not the only person that has these conflicted feelings. I have friends who have talked to me about the same thing that you that you're putting out there on the show, that you're actually going through this and on camera and shit, you know. So it brings, I don't know, like some type of like awareness to, oh damn, no, I'm not the only person feeling like this. Yeah.
And you're a good friend, because I hope that they bring it to you because they know that you're a safe place and that you won't make them feel shame for anything that they're feeling. That's the difficult thing. It's hard. I mean, listen, I'm out here. I be getting crucified every week, but it's hard to reveal things about yourself because you're afraid. You're afraid people are going to throw stones. I've definitely been afraid. I feel like a turtle without a shell.
I mean, I think it's good because you're opening yourself up to people that might be going through the same problems that you're going through and too scared to share or too scared to talk about.
I was too scared. I lived most of my life terrified. Terrified to reveal anything about myself, like just living behind a mask. It's so unhealthy, and I was really hurting myself, and I'm putting myself out there so that people can feel and see that it's okay. And
that's why I was so shocked. I was like, wow, I feel like I'm watching something that I'm not supposed to know about him. I'm feeling like, you know what I mean? So just to be that vulnerable on a show. What made you want to do it now?
Well, because after I came out, I realized that there are other things I needed to come out about. I think everybody's in a closet about something, and I was in a closet. It was more than just being gay. It was about feelings that I have. I was in a closet about sex addiction, or how I am as a friend, or all these things. Like I was a closeted person. I was holding everything inside, and the show was an outlet for me. I'm an artist, and I use art as a means of expression and as a means to heal. And so the show just felt like a natural. I was doing all these shows. I was doing stand-up, and stand-up started being kind of a form of therapy. It was like a free associative therapy that I would just go up and I would talk about a problem that I have, a deep personal problem that I have. And the response from the audience started being better. That's what I mean. Like, people come to the shows, they're the heckles that I get as a comedian are so thoughtful. Like, no comedian gets like the thought. Like, people turn into therapists in the crowd.
Your audience.
Yeah.
I watched that yesterday, and I was like, those heckles aren't real. That's part of the
audience
show.
Is no. Like, people are smart. I believe that. I believe that. Like, Twitter isn't just that's not what the world is.
I haven't been on there in 8 years. I hate it.
Yeah, listen, sometimes I search your name to make me feel better about myself.
I know that's right.
I'm like, what they saying about Charlamagne out there? Like, ooh, okay.
I hate it. I don't go over that at all.
No, but I all the heckles that I get are thoughtful responses, because you open yourself up and people open themselves up. Like they respond in kind, and so I'm glad you're a good friend to your friends who are expressing themselves to you.
And how did you deal? I was gonna say, how did you deal with the sex addiction?
I'm still fucking.
He's dealing with it still. He's trying to figure it out.
All right, I'm getting my candle. Let me get out of here.
But no, on the show, it shows you just be on Grindr before your boyfriend. You was on Grindr just getting it in.
Because that had to be before your boyfriend, right?
Yeah, before my boyfriend, and sex is
better be.
Sex is something else, man. You got to keep watching the show.
Okay.
You got to watch. Do you get all the episodes?
Yes, 3. I'm waiting on the one.
Can you send her the link? Can you send her the link with all the episodes? Because I want you to see all of it. Yeah,
you had a good explanation though. You said because you waited so long to come out.
Yeah.
So now you feel like a 17-year-old
kid. Yeah.
Having
making up for lost time. Like just they're like, my emotional maturity level was a bit delayed. It's a little embarrassing to admit, but true. But even that, I do think there are certain aspects of my personality that I inherit from my father. I've been reading about that a lot, just like being, you learn how to be a man from your dad, and I learned. He gonna get mad because he's gonna watch this. Like, always throwing me under the bus, but it's just true. Like, it's something you learn in therapy. That like, oh, this is how you model yourself as a man, and so I look to sex as a form of validation for my manlyhood, like to make me feel like a man. Yeah.
No, what you're saying is absolutely true, and I've said that numerous times too. But I guess for me, I'm with women.
Yeah.
So to do that with other men you got a daddy from North Carolina. Like I got a daddy from South Carolina. He's not looking at you like more of a man because you sleeping with a bunch of guys.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. I mean, listen, the difference between me and my dad is that I don't leave a trail of children. You know what I mean? Like I'm thankful for that. Thank God. Because if I was straight, I'd have 17 kids.
Right.
Like that's the only difference. Like yeah. Thank God for that.
There is a part in the show where your friend that wears the mask.
Yeah.
One of the most honest moments I've seen on the show thus far is when he says to you, "This isn't honesty.
Yeah.
You got all these cameras." Because that's what it feels like. It feels like it's a curated. To me, it feels like it's a curated exhibition of your sexual exploits.
Yeah.
I don't see the truth that you're trying to reveal yet.
Look, my job is to remain truthful through all of it and to be truthful on camera and to like just be like myself. I stay out of the editing room, and there's some truth to that. Yeah, this is definitely something that's truncated to 30-minute episodes for people to consume and enjoy. But I'm truthful in it. That's what's important to me, that I'm truthful. And I'm really going through these things. Like none of that's made up. None of that's for the show. None of that's for the camera. Like these things I'm really going through, real problems in my life.
What is this show doing for you that therapy can't?
I've been using it as a form of therapy because therapy is exploring yourself and exploring your past. But it's not necessarily confrontation. I still needed a tool to be confident enough to have a conversation with my dad that I'd be terrified of having otherwise. Like, you know, if I'm home in North Carolina, I'm just like, you know, smiling, being a good son, being the son that they want me to be. And I'm not saying the real things, asking the real questions. When the camera's on, I become like a journalist for my own life. Like, no, what's that shit you said in '98? You know, like I get real, like. But without the cameras, I'm afraid.
You think if y'all did family therapy, you think you would be still afraid? Like,
I want to get my family to. I think individual is really important because you need to work on yourself and you bring that to your life. You bring that to the people in your life. I think that's really, really important. And it's funny because therapy is one of those things. I know you talk about it a lot, and it's easy. Like, I don't want people to get a negative, like, I know, like, some of the comments would be like, everybody's always talking about therapy, but those are people that need therapy the most, to be honest with you. But, like, it's an excuse to talk about yourself. That's all it is. It's just an excuse to explore things in your life that you wouldn't normally explore, things that you, and those things manifest as health problems. They manifest in ways that you wouldn't imagine. They manifest as problems in your relationship, problems with raising your kids. Like, these things are real. They'll come out. It doesn't just stay bottled in. It harms your body. It harms your spirit. So it's worth talking about. And I want my family to do it. I think that it would be beneficial to all of us, but I'm doing it. That's really, really important that I'm doing it. I'm working on myself constantly.
You do show how much of a shitty friend you are, too.
Yeah, no.
What you did, Pooh, was foul.
I know. Can I tell you?
You can't be a best man in a wedding and show up an hour late to the wedding. It's not your wedding.
And then compare it to jury duty. Why?
You know, look, weddings are hard because I'm a performer, and so I look at weddings as a show. Like, all right, what is this show that we're going to? Like, but I love Pooh, and you know, I actually gotta hit him. We've been talking a lot. I hope that he liked the episode. Like, he's a very sweet, thoughtful friend, and inspired me so much. And so I know I was a bad friend. Again, it's hard. Like, this show, I'm like the villain in my own show. I'm Erica Kane on my own show. Like, I'm like, people are like, because I'm exposing myself in a real way. Like some of the worst parts of myself, I'm putting out there unedited, just like letting the world see and judge and criticize. But I feel bad for that. Like, I felt bad in the episode. It's something I'm deeply apologetic for. I'm learning. I'm still growing. I'm learning to not be as selfish. Sure, that's a means of self-protection. Like, I'm selfish because I'm scared. And I'm learning to not be as afraid.
What about with Jess? How are things with Jess?
Jess is good. Isn't she a good actress?
Was she acting for real?
She be crying on command. She's so good.
So that wasn't not crying on command.
Yeah, she is.
Really?
She's good.
Okay.
She's good. Listen. If I may say so myself, I got a good eye. You know,
okay.
like, you know.
No,
like,
you do.
You're the lead Jess, but you know, there's another Jesses out there that's pretty good.
Another thing you say on the show is being honest is cool until you have a reason to lie.
Yeah.
Expound on that.
Well, because it's like I was living alone, and I was the most honest that I'd ever been. I was just like, I had no one was going home with me, so there was no reason to like lie to protect. But then I got into a relationship, I finally, I mean, it took me a long time. It took me 35 years to find someone that I love deeply, to be in a loving relationship. I'm so proud of it. I love them very much. And out of that love, sometimes I can fall into traps where I'm lying about myself because I want to protect the relationship. It's a habit. It's a real masculine habit. Oh, I'm lying, but I'm the protector. I'm lying for a good reason. You kind of justify it, and some like lies of omission they're still lies. But when I have someone that I care about, somebody that I love, it's easy to slip into that old habit of lying because I want him to feel good about me. His image of me is really, really important to me.
And you say it's hard to tell the truth to people you love.
Yeah. Do you not feel that way? Do you not feel that way sometimes? Because the consequences are so high.
It's gonna hurt him.
The stakes are so high. I say that to my mom. I'm like sometimes I talk to my mom. I'm like, hey, be careful what you say to me because I'll remember it for the rest of my life. Every word that she says, it's so
piercing.
Yeah.
But some things I feel like need to be said.
Some things. But it takes. Look, you want to say the truth with love and care. But the truth needs to come out. You don't want to hold on to anything. And sometimes lashing out isn't truthful. Sometimes lashing out is just you. Emotion. Yeah, you're being emotional about not saying the truth. Like you're actually doing the opposite of.
Absolutely.
Is Jerrod Carmichael an industry plant?
Yeah. What was that? Who said that? we got. Was that like a Corey Holcomb thing or something?
I don't know if it was Corey or Cat Williams.
Oh man, I wish Corey would focus that energy on a special. Corey's so funny. Corey is so funny. I was like laughed so hard at Corey just when I was a young comic, like just watching him, and it's like, man, you got don't that get old? His audience has to be tired. Yeah. It's just like Jesus Christ.
I mean, funny is funny.
All right.
But are you?
Am I an industry plant?
Industry plant.
Well, I mean, listen, I wish the Illuminati was real. I wish that I could be a plant. I'd fucking sign up in a heartbeat. No, I actually, unfortunately, I had to work hard to get where I am. I had to like think and expose. I'm exposed to so much of my life. That's the thing. Like sometimes you get these criticisms from people who've made nothing. And I'm like, that's what's offensive to me. It's like, no, focus on your own work. I've worked very, very hard to get where I am. But yeah, if I could have sucked a dick to get to the top, I would have sucked.
But that's why they don't want you.
Yeah.
Because you want to do it.
Nah, I'm joking. I'm saying that as a joke. I'm saying it as a joke.
I thought because Lil Rel was defending you on Club Shake.
You know the funny thing too. I also like if I make now I'm sound like a rapper, but like a lot of these comedians who like criticize me is like no like before I came out. Coming out was the hardest thing I ever did in my life. I was like afraid. I had multiple specials. I had a sitcom on NBC that ran for three seasons. I was getting other people's shows. Like I was more successful than them straight. So then to pretend that like he came out, like that's silly. I don't even entertain that.
It feels like you've been trying to come out like the past 3 HBO things you did though, because it was another reality show that was kind of before even.
Oh, like well, I did documentaries about my life. Yeah. That was like that was my soft launch.
Soft launch. I remember you saying.
People were just like kind of dismissed it, but
for whatever reason in the stand-up,
well, that's when I was being truthful. I said it like it was truthful. I said it 10 toes down. Like this is who I am, and it's a hard thing. It's scary. Revealing something about yourself is really, really scary. And that's the thing. Like with criticisms, I'm like, listen, look at yourself, look at your own art. If you are to criticize me, please make sure you're making art that you care about more than a podcast, more than any of these things. Make sure you're making a tangible thing that people care about before you start attacking me.
I don't think being gay on TV is as shocking as it once was.
It's shocking in my personal life. That's all I care. Like the art that I make is about the difficulty that I had. I had to tell my mother that, and that was hard. Maybe the landscape has changed. I'm thankful for any gay person that came out before that made it a little bit easier for me. But it was still a very difficult thing to reveal about my life, and that's not easy. It wasn't easy.
I can tell you're ready to go, but I want to ask because you just mentioned something. You said that you had all of this great stuff going on before you came out.
Yeah.
So do you feel like coming out as gay is taking away the focus on everything you've done in your career?
No, not at all. Carmichael Show still exists. Stream it on Hulu. What's my man?
What happens when I Google you?
Mack was out there.
When I Google you, what's going to come up, though? The same way you said if you Google Dave, it's all transgender stuff. If I Google
Things
you
I talk
now-
about. Watch the show. I hope people watch the show. Like if you see the show, you'll see the truth.
Okay.
You know, I'm confident in that. Like, you know, I think this, like, up top, I was just upset because something untrue was said. I say enough things, enough true things to talk about. Like, so I don't need any lies. Like I don't need any of that. But yeah, I'm making art about my life. And I'm really proud of it. I hope people watch the show. That's the important thing. I sent you all the episodes. Please send it to Jess.
Please
Envy,
send
watch
it to
an
all of them.
episode of the show.
They didn't send it to
goddammit.
me. I'm sitting there online looking at clips, looking at stand-ups that you've done because they didn't
He
send out
was
to
looking at
me.
clips, yeah.
Know each other. We've met before. We talk like
You
you doing
dream
like
think
about
about-
you in the shower.
Think about me in the shower, but I
think
couldn't
about
get
you
clips.
in the shower.
I couldn't get.
Envy.
They didn't send me anything. He wanted you all to himself.
He
No,
only
I
sent
watch
me
it because
3
it comes on.
episodes.
I mean, after Bill Maher. I mean, I like Jerrod, but it also comes on after
Yeah.
Bill Maher, which is a great lead-in.
Yeah.
So I'm watching. I'm
Yeah.
already watching TV on
Good.
HBO on
Yeah.
Friday night.
I think the show's funny.
He is, yeah. Charlamagne called
What
you
kind
his
of funny?
friend.
Ha
He
ha
is. He
funny
is
or
funny.
like?
Man, y'all so straight. Y'all are so straight. I'm so straight. Is this ha funny? Or is this pause funny? Like, Jesus Christ. You are so straight. Congratulations. Oh my God. Everybody clap for the straight man. Oh my God.
Jerrod
Jesus.
Carmichael, ladies and gentlemen.
Brought you a candle.
Yes, he did.
Good to see you.
I love y'all.
Jerrod.
Thank y'all very much
Love
for
you
having
too.
me.
Jess, some
Thank you
flowers.
very
Yes,
much.
he did.
You
I
can check
love
out the
him.
reality show Fridays on HBO Max. Thank you, brother, for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
It's the
Thank
Breakfast
you
Club.
very
Good
much.
morning.
Wake that ass up.
In the morning.
The Breakfast Club.